So this year saw three of the major airline stock prices drop by over 50%. It was a virtual bloodbath, and stockholders got hit really hard, obviously, but the pilot community has been suffering as well. And one of the biggest drivers is obviously the passenger volume is down because of all the political volatility. But the good news is the stock prices have started to come back and rebound. They hit their bottom in April, and it seems like things are getting better. But there have been big implications for pilots in 2025, leading to 5 kind of new truths that pilots are dealing with this year that they haven't the past couple years. Stay tuned. The 5th one is the most complicated and unpredictable. And if you have another one that you think I missed, go ahead and throw that in the comments. I always appreciate those. So first off is something that you probably noticed, that it's really hard to get a pilot job right now. And so these furloughs, obviously, they put a lot of experienced pilots in the job market that we all have to compete with. And also flight instructors have gone beyond the 1,500 hours without any luck of finding a job. And so everybody just keeps building more time, building more experience. And so that makes it harder for the low guys just hitting 1,500 hours to find a job. And that kind of leads to the second reality is you're going to have to do more to stand out to get that job. You're probably going to have to get your CFII, maybe your MEI. I'm seeing a lot of guys go and get their ATP CTP course. They're relatively reasonable. I think you can get it for $3,000 to $4,000. But the other thing is, it used to be important, but it kind of has dropped off in recent years. Airlines didn't seem to care, but you may have to get a college degree to get to the big airlines. Might start requiring that in the future. The third truth staring us in the face is that if you're lucky enough to get a job, you're not going to upgrade anytime soon. And that coincides with the fact that you're going to be stuck at the bottom of the seniority list for a while because they're not hiring anybody below you. So you hear and you see a lot of pilots kind of complain about sitting on reserve and there's no end in sight for them, so they're not building really a lot of flight time. And then interestingly enough, SkyWest had put out this contract where you had to get 1,600 hours of PIC time at SkyWest before you could move on. And if you moved on before you got that, then you'd have to pay your training costs. And the expected window for that, people thought that they could get that 1,600 hours PIC time in 4 to 5 years. Work as a first officer for 1.5 years, 2 years, upgrade to captain, do that for a couple years, and then off you go. They're probably going to, with that contract, assuming that nothing's changed, they're going to be stuck there 7 to 10 years now because there's no upgrades. So great move by SkyWest to fix their pilot problem. But the fourth is more positive. It seems to, the guys that I'm talking to, it seems easier to get into the flight schools and start training. So if you're looking to be a pilot or change careers or whatever, now is a great time to get your training done because the skies are a little bit more empty. You've got aircraft availability, flight instructors are available. And so great time to jump in and do that. So that is a good thing that pilots are dealing with right now. And then the fifth, this is really unpredictable, but AI has just become huge. It's a hot topic everywhere, including the aviation community. And Cirrus, on their SR-22s, they just added a safe landing system. So in the event that a pilot becomes incapacitated, the passenger can hit a button and the plane will land itself. It'll find the airport, do the approach, land, hit the brakes, the whole 9 yards. And so, these planes, the autopilots are getting more sophisticated and they're able to do more. And obviously you've seen a lot of fairly good-sized jets rated as single pilot, and there's a lot of rumors about airlines looking to get rid of one of the pilots in the flight deck. They could obviously, from a business standpoint, save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars by getting rid of one of the pilots. So I know the pilot unions like ALPA have started to look into what they need to do to fight that. So we'll have to see what happens, in that. No one can really say when things are going to, when there's going to be a big change or anything like that, but it's definitely coming. And so despite all these challenges that pilots have, the airline stock prices have started to rebound. The political climate's simmering a little bit. And then there's a lot of major airlines have come out and said they're going to resume normal hiring this fall. So the positive impact that you see in some of these downturns is the stuff that's not working for airlines kind of gets weeded out. They get rid of it because it doesn't work. and so they become a little bit leaner. They come out stronger, if they do things right. And then it also weeds out some of the pilots maybe that shouldn't be there, that don't really care as much as others do, about that aviation career. So hang in there. Things are going to get better. Check out my video on pilot hiring predictions for 25. I think things are going pretty well. We'll have to see how the second half of the year plays out, but check that video out and leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and until I see you next time, fly safe.